Froggy, and we're back again with another episode of All Routes Lead to Doom. We're doing Geordo's route this time. Now, I played him second because I don't generally go for the Yandere type, but he's honestly really mild compared to a lot of the Yandere routes that I've played in the past, but he still has a lot of those same possessive elements to him. So that's why I'm playing him second. Now, he is super handsome and stuff, so he's got that going for him. He doesn't fit my usual interests, you know. Now, that being said, I have been surprised before, so I didn't go into the route with any biases. So a bit of backstory on Geordo. He is the third prince of the Stewart family, and he's the older twin brother of Alan. He's our fiancé. And he's one of the top 3 rivals for our heart, along with Keith and Mary. So he is viewed by the public as like perfection and a big contender for the crown because of how their royalty system works. However, we learn through the common route that he isn't all that perfect and often wears a smile as a mask around others, and he's afraid of snakes. So we tend to keep a snake in our pocket just in case, it ever comes to it and he's going to attack us and we just need to scare him off a little bit. We can throw a snake at him. Well, we keep a toy snake. I don't know if I said that, but it's a toy snake, not a real snake. He also uses fire magic. His rose color is red, probably because he uses fire magic. And for the common route options, they're usually about us being more like prim and proper, or noticing how he feels. Because that's a huge thing for him, because not a lot of people notice how he feels. We know we're on his route when, on the way back from the bathroom during that party, he finds us and we hear about the pirate attack. So we head back to the party because he's a prince and he has to protect his people. And of course we're like, yeah, we'll do that with you. During his route, we do learn more about why he's got feelings for Katarina, and we get a look into their shared past a lot and see that she was the one that brought color into his world because she never did what he expected. He basically just saw the world as like black and white and everything was just already laid out before him. So we brought this whole new experience to him. We were just so unpredictable. And that was huge to him. He ended up proposing to us because she could help him ward off other girls. That's how it started. But he stayed because he genuinely enjoyed our quirkiness. So when we first met, and this is brought up both in the game and obviously in the story, and the anime and everything, but before we got our memories back, we met him first. He's the first one that we knew. He's the only one that we knew. We saw Alan in passing, because obviously Alan also lived at the castle, but Geordo's the one that we knew, and we were there to see if he would want to be engaged to us, and we acted like a total spoiled brat, like we already laid our claim to him and everything like that, so it was pretty bad. We were super clingy and annoying, and then we fell over and smacked our head, and that's how we regained our memories. But Geordo was going to use that as an excuse and be like, oh, well, you got hurt with me and you're never going to find like a suitable husband or anything like that because of the scar on your forehead. So I'm going to take responsibility and I'm going to marry you. And to be the excuse. So that way he could ward off all the other girls who were trying to be engaged to him because he just found the whole thing so annoying. But then when he came to see us, we got our memories back and we were so strange. And every time that he met us thereafter, we were just this weird, quirky girl who just constantly made him laugh. So I get where he was coming from in the beginning, but I love that he genuinely started having feelings for her just because she was so different from everything else in his life. So anyways, back to the ship. We spend a lot of time after we go back to the party area trying to call for help. And he beats up some of the pirates and the two of us go running off to find help, like a way to call out, because he knows that there's a magical device on board so he could call for help. But we're found out by Silva because he just constantly seems like he's one step ahead of us. So we're left with two choices. One of the options is to stay away from Geordo because in our minds, that'll keep us more safe. Because he, again, we see him as a yandere. That's what we know him as from the game when we played it before we became Katarina. So if we make that choice, Geordo knocks us out and we get, instead of like a good ending or a bad ending, we get another ending. That's literally what it is. And then the another ending is called Geordo Held Me Captive, which is the yandere ending. Basically, he takes out the other pirates, he manages to call for help, and takes us home to his castle, which is where we wake up. He already told Katarina's family that we're just gonna start living at the castle from now on. And he confines us to a room where he completely pampers us, and we're not allowed to see anyone. And we seem to be just fine with that. That's why it's not a good ending, not a bad ending, just another ending. But if we don't make that choice, then we get to see just how much Silva really likes getting under Geordo's skin. So, like, a good portion of Geordo's route is trying to get Silva to piss off. Like, that's just what Geordo's trying to do, is just get him to go away. But yeah, no, Silva does actually scare him, though, because we're not afraid of Silva. We see Silva as a good person, despite the fact that he's a pirate. And we end up promising to spend the day with Silva alone in exchange for information. And Geordo is just so scared of losing us to an outsider rival that he finally properly confesses his feelings to us and spends the rest of the route trying to be literally glued to us, loving on Katarina and kissing her as much to everyone else's dismay. And we're just there like flustered, like, what? I thought that you didn't actually want to be with me, you know? Like, I thought you were just using me to keep the other girls at bay. But anyways, at the end of the route, we do make it to the ship, and we're gonna try and get back onto the ship so we can call for help, but Silva pops up, and Geordo and Silva actually fight this time. Now, there is a bad ending here. We have an option where we can step in and try to protect Geordo, and Silva accidentally kills us. Whoopsies. He feels bad about it. We do get to see that. That's not what he wanted to do. But anyways, that's a bad end. But if we don't mess up, then we do actually get rescued and make it home. And it's eerie because we get onto the ship and there's no one. No one is there. No one is on the ship. And we're just like, where is literally anyone? I thought all of the people from the other kingdom were supposed to be kept here, but they're not. Anyways, so for his endings, I actually really liked his endings. So for the good ending, it takes place in the garden where we fell and hit our head as a kid, which began this whole new journey. And the two of us are walking, we reminisce about the past, and Katarina is apologizing to Geordo about how annoying she was before the incident. And he's just like, it's fine, you don't have to apologize, because it literally brought us to where we are now. And we notice that Geordo's actually completely exhausted, because now that he's a graduate from school, they're putting more royal duties onto him, and it's just completely wiping him out. And he's, of course, wearing a brave face, his usual mask, but we can see right through it. And that surprises Geordo, because he's just not used to being noticed like that. But he quickly rebounds, as is Geordo's way. And he uses his exhaustion as a way to be able to hug on us and be, like, physical in that way. And, of course, while he's just hugging us and holding us and being like, I'm gonna get my rest right here. She's just like, because of course, Katerina, always awkward. Doesn't know what to do in these kinds of situations. And then, as the icing on the cake, so we offer Geordo help in relaxing. Because we want him to relax and take it easy. And he uses that to tease us by inviting Katerina to sleep with him. And she's even more like, what? What do you mean? And then he like entices her and be like, well, I mean, we could have like a slumber party and there'll be like treats and special desserts and stuff. And she, of course, food is now mentioned, and she's like, whoa, I am all in. And then he kisses her and tells her that she needs to be more wary of men, including himself, because she's just gonna get herself into trouble. And while we're close, from the kiss and everything, and his little teasing, Mary and Keith end up finding us in the garden, and Mary screams because she does not like seeing us that close to Geordo. So anyways, the whole lead up to that is still pretty cute before the screaming thing, but Mary is just Mary. Now, for the happy ending, this actually takes place on their wedding day, which is exactly what I wanted in Keith's route. And we look stunning, okay? And Geordo's actually like flustered to see us looking like that. And by the whole fact that he's actually getting to marry us, which is a dream come true for him. And yeah, flustered Geordo, not something we see very often in The Perfect Prince. So everybody is in Katerina's changing room, talking about how she looks and the wedding and congratulating her and everything like that. And Mary is still in denial about us marrying Geordo, which annoys Geordo, and he just kicks everyone out. So now, as a disclaimer, we don't actually get to see the wedding itself, which I'm a little sad about, but I just really liked how, like, sweet this ending actually is. Geordo is so adorable with Katerina, and we know he's going to take good care of our girl, and he's basically just spending the whole rest of it when it's just the two of them alone together to get a little closeness with her, to kiss her, and tell her, like, hey, you can relax. It's fine. You don't need to worry about all of the pomp and circumstance of the wedding, because it doesn't matter, because in the end, we're going to be married, and we're both going to be happy. And that cheers her up, and yeah, she calms down a little bit. So it's a really nice ending. So yeah, in the end, I'm not a huge fan of Geordo. He's like, his route was okay, but it wasn't like my favorite. I liked Keith's route a little bit more, but honestly, I was just really surprised by how much I actually enjoyed his endings. Because yeah, Yandere endings just aren't my style at all. But he's just so mild as a Yandere that it's really not that bad. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. The route itself, mid. The endings were fantastic and what I would have wanted for them. So I'm pretty happy. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.